Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I am the Elite Collector, and today we have our second of two Demon Slayer statues that I wanted to unbox this week to celebrate the ending of Demon Slayer Season 2. I'm actually recording this on Sunday night, and I haven't seen it yet, but I've already seen people talk about it, and it seemed like the season did end on a good note, so I can't wait to watch it. I'm probably going to be watching it after this video. But the statue that I'm going to be unboxing today is none other than the Love Hashira herself, Mitsuri. I do also have my TPA Studios, which is my first Mitsuri statue that I unboxed on my channel. If you guys haven't checked that out, I'll leave a link up here so you guys can watch that. And in case you guys haven't noticed, I am wearing my Valentine's Day shirt for this video. I don't have a Demon Slayer shirt, unfortunately, so I figured this would work. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing and we'll compare these two statues. Alright guys, so here's the shipper box. As mentioned, we are going to be unboxing Kanroji Mitsuri statue, and this statue does come from TPA Studios, my first statue from them, so it'll be interesting to check out the quality of this statue. For those of you who don't know, Mitsuri is my favorite character of Demon Slayer. I just love her character design. I love how her hair looks, the pink and the green, which I believe her hair turns green at the tips because of the mochi that she eats. But yeah, really cool character. Love the character design, and this image here on the front is beautiful. Turning it around, we have this super cute image of her, and on the back we just got some information on the studio. It is a 1/6 scale. Studio has been around for a while, so they even have a Facebook group if you guys want to go check them out. And here's another cute image on this side. I do really like this image here. And then on the top we just got the TPA logo. All right, so on the top we do have these black straps, which are always super satisfying to take off, so let's take it off together and open up this box. All right, you guys ready for this? Hopefully no breaks like with Kijugo. Everything looks good. It looks like this statue does come with some sort of acrylic stand. We got Mitsuri's arms, lightning effects. I'm not sure what that is. We got the dragon here, some pieces of Mitsuri, her head. So yeah, everything looks to be in good shape so far. Oh no, again, I spoke too soon. It looks like we do have a little break here. Thankfully, this one is not as bad as with Kijugo, so that one shouldn't be too much of a problem to glue together. All right, as always, we're gonna start off with the base. Here on the bottom, it does tell you the edition number that you have. So I have number 262 out of 520. And then we have this super cute image of Mitsuri. Turning it around, we do see Mitsuri's wood dragon here. I'm not too sure how her ability works. I haven't read the manga, but we will hopefully see more of her in season 3, which was just announced, and they do have an image of Mitsuri on the promos for season 3, so we'll finally get to see her in action. But yeah, I don't know how her ability works. I don't know if these are conjured up by her out of thin air, or if she uses the trees around her, because these are wood dragons. But overall, I do think the base is well done. We will have some LEDs, which is why the eyes look kind of like glass. I'm really curious how that'll look. The eyes do look pretty cool. Here's the mouth. Again, my lighting is not the best here, but the lightning effects will go in there. And turning it around on the other side, we have the switch for the LED and the port for the USB. Now, before we continue with the assembly, let's take some time to go over all of the breaks. I did have in total 3 different breaks, so we're gonna try and fix them here in this video. The first one you guys already saw. It's with this effect here. So this piece right here did come broken. And on this same piece, there was a tiny little flower, this little guy right here, that did come off from right there. So we'll glue that on there as well. And then the last break, which I'm hoping we can fix, because it's gonna be pretty difficult to glue on just because of how thin and small the break is. But it's on Mitsuri's blade, so you can see there the break is really tiny, so hopefully when I glue it on there, it does stick on there. Because the blade does sort of stretch out and stuff like that, I need to be very careful after I glue this on. So we're gonna try and fix all of them here in this video. And to start off, I'm gonna start off with this piece right here. All right, so Hit, one of the members on my Discord, he's the main guy that we go to anytime we have any issues with breakages or anything on our statues. And he says that the rule of thumb is with any clear resin, you wanna use epoxy unless it's a really thin, lightweight piece. And in this case, this piece is pretty lightweight. So I'm gonna be using just standard super glue, because that's what I have handy, and I find it easier to work with super glue than with epoxy. So we're gonna use that for this piece right here. Also, when applying super glue, you don't want to put too much that it overflows, because then the glue will come onto the colored pieces here and it will strip some of the paint off and it won't look as nice. So just make sure not to put too much. And once you do glue the two pieces together, you want to make sure to hold them firmly for a few minutes. Don't take them off too early, otherwise you will risk the piece breaking off again. I would recommend holding it for a few minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it without talking, because I want to make sure to focus while I'm doing this.
A few moments later.
All right, so you guys see I did put in too much glue, so don't do what I do there. Put a little bit less glue. I got a little bit overconfident when putting the glue on. So I'm gonna take a napkin with some alcohol and try to clean it up a bit. All right, so there we go. Overall, I think the fix looks pretty good. On this side, it was the worst. I think I let it sit for too long and it does look a little bit opaque because of the glue. It kind of set on there, and even the alcohol I couldn't clean it off with the alcohol. But this side looks fine. And either way, I think on the statue, this is gonna be the side that will be showing most. So I think it'll be fine. Let's go ahead and glue on the flowers now, which, by the way, I found a second little flower. So there are two of these that need to be glued on. All right, so on this one, you can see that the paint got stripped on this side, and on this flower, you can see where the paint got stripped off as well. So I'm pretty sure this guy goes in like this, which is a perfect fit. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it on. So I'm just gonna drop some glue in here and then put the flower in. All right, now this piece is super light, so I don't need to hold it on firmly for too long. I think I'll just stick it in, push it in for a little bit, and I'll just let the glue do the work. So the other flower goes in here right where the other break was. I'm just gonna do the same here. All right, so there that is. This piece is good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the base while everything sets. So yeah, here's where it goes. You can't even tell where the break is, honestly. I think she will display either like this. I don't know how to display her. I think she actually goes like this. So all those breaks will be hidden, and the flowers you can barely tell. So I'm happy with that fix. Now onto the sword, and this one is gonna be super difficult. Considering how horribly I did with the other one, I need to be very careful here and just add a tiny little dot of super glue. So wish me luck. Let's see if that'll do it. And even that little small amount is overflowing. So I'm gonna hold this in place for a few minutes.
A few moments later.
All right, so I held it for 2 minutes firmly, and it seems to have done the job. So I'm still gonna be really careful when trying to place this on Mitsuri's hand. But overall, it did overflow just a little bit, but I'm gonna leave it that way. I'm not gonna try to clean it with alcohol or anything, because I don't wanna make it worse like I did with the other piece. From a distance, you can only tell if you know that it's broken. You can see a little tiny streak there. So for now, I'll put this to the side and we'll continue with the assembly. The next piece here on the dragon that I want to take a look at is this lightning effect. Again, I'm not too sure if this is lightning, but to me, it looks like a lightning effect. So really nice spikes here. I'm super glad that this didn't break. It came in perfectly, no breaks anywhere. Unfortunately, I don't see any LED coming out through his tongue, so I don't think this will have any lighting to it. So the only LED we'll see is on the dragon's eyes. Fits in perfectly. That's the only way that it could go in. Next up is this little tree branch. I'm guessing they just sculpted this separately so that this little leaf here or this branch wouldn't break, but this guy just sticks in here. And then the last piece are these drums, or to be honest, I don't know what this is. I'm also not sure if this is part of Mitsuri's ability, because I do remember seeing like a demon in season 1 that had similar drums to this one. So I don't know if this is part of the demon that she's fighting or if it's her ability, but nonetheless, it is still a cool piece. This guy sticks in right here. This one was a little bit hard to find. All right, guys, now looking at Mitsuri's body sculpt, this thing does not look like a 1/6 scale. It looks really tiny, especially compared to my CP Studios back there. I would say this is more of a 1/8 even scale, not even 1/7. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed with the scaling on this one, but as far as the pose, I do like it. It's a bit more dynamic. There are also some details that I missed before on CP Studios, like her little sandals here do have a little tiny bow on the end here where they tie up. Her skirt is also really tiny. It's a little tiny mini skirt. We're definitely going for a sexy pose here. But yeah, I think this is still accurate to the anime because the guy who makes the Demon Slayer uniforms is a bit of a pervert. So he made Mitsuri's uniform to be a bit more revealing. Here is the second half of her body, and here is where you can definitely tell how underscaled this is. So this goes from her torso to her neck, and just look at this height. It's really tiny, but overall I do love the way that her coat looks. I love the way that it's flowing out behind her, and then up here you can see a little bit of the characters on her back there. And then yeah, overall her chest looks really nice as well. The only complaint I have is just that it looks underscaled. So this just sits on here. All right, so this is also annoying. So the torso here doesn't quite sit flush with the leg portion of her body. You guys can see on the back here. Let me take the camera. There's a big gap that you can definitely see here on the back and really all the way around. You guys can see the gap there. And I've tried, like I took it off of the base, I pushed it down, and I just still couldn't get it flush. So I might need to go get a sander or something, some sanding paper, and sand down one of those pieces so that they can fit better. All right, next up here are her tiny little hands. Not too much to show, so I'm just gonna go ahead and install them on the statue. All right, guys, now her face sculpt, I do really love her face sculpt and just the way that her hair is flowing. It looks really cool. So yeah, her face sculpt looks beautiful. Her eyes look really nice as well. She does look super cute here. So yeah, super happy with this. Now I'm having a similar issue with her head. You guys can see there that it's not sitting completely flush on her neck. Definitely not as bad as the torso, but still it's just crazy that both of these pieces don't key in perfectly. Overall, I'd have to say that this is probably the worst statue that I've had with these type of fitment issues. All right, now we're bringing back the blade, but we didn't take a close look at it. I kind of just showed you guys the broken piece here, which you can still see that streak line right there where I glued it together. But other than that, Mitsuri's blade is sort of more of a whip. It'll be really interesting to see how she uses this in the anime. But overall, it does have a pretty cool design. Her hilt does have hearts. That was my suspicion when I was unboxing other Mitsuri figures. I just wasn't sure. They didn't quite look like hearts, but here you can definitely tell that they are hearts. And then on the tip of the hilt, there are also 4 different hearts here. So super cute blade. I love the addition of these flowers here on some portions of the blade. So let's carefully put it in place and hopefully it doesn't break again. I always find it easier to take off the hand when placing these blades. There we go. All right, so I had to take it off screen because unfortunately the blade did break a few times. When I was trying to position the blade in the correct position, it kept breaking on me. So unfortunately, this isn't the correct way that the blade is supposed to be positioned. The way that it's supposed to go just causes too much stress on this point and it just keeps breaking the blade. So I decided to put it a different way and this seems to work without causing the blade to break anymore, which still looks good. I still like the fact that the flower here is still pointing forwards. Now this flower back here is actually supposed to wrap all the way around back there and then stop right here. So you're supposed to have both flowers showing in the front of the statue, but Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that because I just don't want to break the blade anymore. I think this works. It still looks good. So this is how I'm going to keep it for now. All right, and last thing before we go into a figure showcase is the edition size coin. This one is actually really cute. You have Mitsuri, a picture of Mitsuri engraved here. We have some hearts, and I don't know, I just really like the way this one looks. And then on the back, we have the TPA logo as well as the number that we have here. So we have number 262 out of 520. And here is the acrylic stand that was inside of the box as well. Assuming this is the artwork that the statue is based off of. This is actually a really nice image here, really nice acrylic stand. But yeah, as you guys can see here, here's how it was actually supposed to be displayed. So we have a flower shown here up top, which is that one there. And then it's supposed to wrap all the way around and come up here. And the second flower is supposed to be here on front as well. But yeah, it's a really nice acrylic stand. I will probably display it with the statue or maybe inside of a manga shelf. And then lastly, this does come with a USB cable. So let's go ahead and plug it in and take a look at these LEDs. Oh wow, this is a super bright LED. If I turn this, you can see how much light comes into the camera. Awesome LEDs. Again, I just wish they would have included some LEDs here on the mouth as well. But all right, let's go into a figure showcase and we'll do a final thoughts and review at the end of the video. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the statue showcase. Here I have my two Mitsuri statues side by side, so I'm going to be reviewing this guy, and as I go through each portion of this statue, I will be comparing it to CP Studios. So starting off with the base, and this statue, I was loving it when I was just looking at the base when I was starting the assembly. The base design is really cool, and the LED on the eye is super bright, which I love. The only issue that I really have with it is that there's no LED for the lightning coming out of the dragon's mouth. And also the break on that piece over there. But really, when you have her on display, you don't even see that. So overall, I'd have to give this statue an 8 out of 10. It's a much more elaborate base, so I definitely prefer it over CP Studios base, which went with a more simple design. Still looks nice for this statue, but I do prefer this base over that one. Now going into the body sculpt, here is where this statue probably had the most issues, especially with both parts of the body not keying in properly all the way. So while I do like the pose, and I actually like the way that her body looks, like she's really slim, she has those nice curves and everything, I'm gonna probably have to go with a 4 out of 10 for the body sculpt on this one. There was just too many issues with it. Now CP Studios, on the other hand, while it's not quite as dynamic, I think her pose is really cute. There was no issues whatsoever. And even the color and the paint job that they did on her Demon Slayer Corp uniform and her coat overall, it has nice shading going on. I think overall it is a much better body sculpt than TPA Studio. Now the face, I do really like the face, but seeing it side by side with CP Studios, I actually like the coloring on the hair more on CP Studios. It looks more pastel, and I kind of like that more than the darker tones that they use on TPA Studio. Overall though, I still did like the face, so I will go with an 8 out of 10 for the face there. And then finally, just my personal enjoyment of the statue overall, what I thought about the design. Honestly, I think the design of the statue was really well done, besides the issues that we had here with fitment of those two parts there. I'd say my favorite part of the statue is the base and actually her sword. I love the whole whip thing. Even though I didn't key it in properly, I still think it looks cool like this. So yeah, overall I'd say this is a solid 7 out of 10 for my enjoyment of this statue. Now, as far as which one I prefer, TPA over CP Studios, you know, they are really close. Overall, I'd say I'd like this design better, but the body sculpt on this one was done a lot better and it does look more properly to scale. I think this is a proper 1/6 scale, and you can definitely see that it's much bigger than that Mitsuri back there. So I'm gonna say that I actually prefer CP Studios over TPA Studios. Now, if you guys would like one of these, I think they're both still available on the website that I got them from. I got both of these from Favor GK, so if you guys are interested, I always have a link down below. But yeah, I'd say that my Mitsuri shrine is coming along very nicely. I still do have more on the way, believe it or not. So look forward to those. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.